You're watching another Rider Nation Station presentation. Tonight's game is brought to you by Laura Yelton State Farm Insurance, Attorney Dave Weilbacher, St. Mary's Rider Rooters, and Schaff Auto Sales.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another broadcast by Rider Nation Station. We're here at Murrow Tech Court. I'm Doug Spencer. Alongside me, Joe Hurlbert. Joe, it's rivalry week, and St. Mary's thus far has been very successful as the wrestling team. Was very successful on Tuesday night and forcing a three-way tie going into tournament, and that was able to be watched on Rider Nation Station. Last night, the girls traveled to Celina and were successful, and we're going to see if we can pull off the trifecta here tonight at Murrow Tech Court as our boys 16-3 are facing the 2-17 Celina Bulldogs.
Well, normally, Doug, it's usually role reversal, and as far as basketball is concerned, over the last 10 to 15 years, usually you see St. Mary's at the bottom of the Western Buckeye League, Celina always challenging for that top spot. That's not the case this year. Of course, Danny Hagemeyer is back as the head coach of the St. Mary's Rough Riders, and I'll tell you what, I don't care what anybody says, that man can coach the game of basketball. And if you look at his trail, you know, he started out as a JV coach at Waynesfield, went to the varsity at Waynesfield, then I believe he went to Spencerville for a while, won 2 state championships down at Fort Laramie. Then he went to New Knoxville, won a state championship there. I think he ran a string of 50-some wins in a row. And then he came to St. Mary's, and then he stepped down and retired from the game. And what a neat story that the players went to him and said, we would like you to coach. And he obliged, and he is back at the helm of the boys basketball squad. And like I said, he has them at 16-3 right now. I think they're tied for second place, or they're tied for third place in the Western Buckeye League with a 5-2 mark.
Yeah, I like to refer to it as Dan Hagemeyer St. Mary's version 2.0. And what a great season. And you just look across the way here from the Crow's Nest, Joe. The St. Mary's faithful are really starting to build upon coming and watching this team play, and hoping to see another Rough Rider victory, improving that mark to 17-3. They've got Toledo Scott here tomorrow, and gearing up for tournament play as they were just seeded this past Sunday.
Well, I'll tell you what, and the future looks bright for these Rough Riders as they only have 4 seniors on their roster. And I'll tell you what, the kid that a lot of people are looking to build this program around is Austin Parks. Austin is 6'8". He is just a freshman. And when I talked to Danny Hagemeyer prior to going on the air, he said that he's possibly looking at Parks to grow 6'9", 6'10". So that gives him a great nucleus for the next 3 years after this.
Yeah, a great season, and don't want to overlook this season. And Parks has matured game by game by game, developing into a very significant post player. But this is just the beginning. The kid's a freshman.
Yep.
Hagemeyer has a lot of foundation to build upon.
He does.
And you're returning Latrey Williams next year, and you're returning I just went blank here, but you're returning Davis, Jaden Davis, an outside scoring threat. That kid can put the ball down, Joe. He's got some serious sleepers, long and lanky. And we're focused right now on this Celina St. Mary's game. And right now we're introducing the starters in alternating fashion. So let's go ahead and find out, Joe, who is starting in tonight's contest.
Well, first of all, we'll take a look at Jay Umwally, Celina Bulldogs, 2-17 overall, 2-5 in the Western Buckeye League. They will start Jack Duncan, a 5'6 junior, Ethan Wilson. Wilson is the main cog of the Celina offense. The way the offense goes is the way Ethan Wilson goes. He's their leading scorer. He pretty much leads in every statistical category, and Ethan's a 6-foot senior. Quinn Andrew will start at 5'10", a sophomore. Max Toby, 6'3", senior. And Josh Racevere is a 6'5" sophomore. For our Rough Riders, it'll be Jack Sisko at 5'10", he's a senior. Latrey Williams, 5'9", he's a junior. Jaden Davis is a 6'3", junior. Ethan Stager is a 6'6" senior, and he's a player as well. And of course, Austin Parks will be in the middle, 6'8" freshman.
First thing I observe, Joe, is Celina's going to have a monumental task defending the post. You've got 6'8", 6'6", and both of our post players are great around the rim. Stager can step out and shoot from the perimeter as well, but it's going to be an interesting game for the Celina Bulldogs, St. Mary's Rough Riders. Latrey Williams fires up the first three, and that three-pointer is brought to you by Laura Yelton State Farm, your good neighbor agents. Latrey Williams was a nice addition to this roster. The kid can play both sides of the court, good offensive threat, good ball handler, and the kid can absolutely D it up.
Well, Latrey Williams has tossed up. That was his 103rd three-pointer of the season. He's connected on 33 for around 33%.
Nice little bounce pass into Josh Racevere, who puts it up on the right side of the glass. Getting tagged with the foul is Ethan Stager, his first, team first. And it puts the 6'5" sophomore Josh Racevere at the line, shooting one. Racevere makes good on that to tie this game up with 7:12 to go, 3-3. Jack Sisko, the point guard for the Rough Riders, swings it over to Latrey Williams. Williams finds Parks inside, but a little bit of fumble on that, and it's picked up by the Bulldogs, who are now in transition. Number 23 gets stopped. He's collapsed on by Davis, and Stager kicks it out to number 25. Quinn Andrew fires up a three ball, and Andrew's three is good. Celina takes an early lead, 6-3, 6:40 to go. Sisko orchestrating things. Little zone defense by the Bulldogs. Skip pass from Parks to Jaden Davis, hits back iron, chased down by the Bulldogs. Williams finds Stager with a nice bounce pass up, finds bottom iron. What a great bounce pass, entry pass from number 4, Latrey Williams, into Stager. Stager gets fouled. He's at the line shooting two. Stager three dribbles, eyes it, flies it. Hits that front part of the rim, but it's able to drop in. And we've got a Bulldog substitution. Number 11, Connor Allstetter steps in. Stager with good rotation, finds back iron, no good. Rebounded by Ethan Wilson. Hands off to the point guard, Jack Duncan, going against Jack Sisko. Quinn Andrew in the right corner, guarded by Williams. St. Mary's is in man-to-man, as they typically are, as a deep three ball just goes in and out by Ethan Wilson. Sisko in transition, telegraphs the pass to the left side, knocked out of bounds by number 25, Quinn Andrew from the Bulldogs. A little far for that pass to be made, and Quinn Andrew smelled it out and tips it out of bounds. Jaden Davis next to the referee. Swing pass to the left side to Latrey Williams. Inside from Parks to Stager, 4-2. That's a good outside-inside game by the two post players. Ties it up 6-6, 5:40 to go here at Murrow Tech Court. Jack Duncan guarded by Jack Sisko. Fires another deep three. That's going to go out. Joe,
I was shooting that from Mercer County. that was 30 feet.
That was a deep three ball. Goes out of bounds. St. Mary's walking it up with Jack Sisko. Again, a high zone by the Bulldogs. St. Mary's trying to find a high-low game. Look, Williams into Stager. Got it to the wrong side hand. The defense was on the left, and he threw it to that left hand. Needed to find right side so Stager could spin, go into the hoop. Turnover on the Riders. Duncan fires it off the face of Josh Razavir. Turnover Bulldogs. Latrey Williams likes to find the basket, gets it to Stager, who takes it hard up, and knocks it out of bounds.
Substitution in for Celina, number 41. Max Toby will check back in, and Razavir will have a bench beside Coach Imwale.
6-6 is our score. Latrey Williams guarding number 25, Quinn Andrew, left-hand dribble, picks it up. I'll tell you what, I would not want to be defended by Latrey Williams. Very smart defender, very quick, extremely athletic.
Good job by Parks. Not allowing the ball to get inside down on the blocks and knocked it out of bounds. So Celina will have the ball.
Andrew to trigger it in, right in the corner. Gets it inside to Allstetter. Allstetter out to Jack Duncan, left side. He finds number 41, Max Toby, for a three-pointer, and it is good. Celina obviously thinks they can keep this game close with the three-point ball, Joe, and they've been successful twice.
I think what their philosophy is, Doug, I don't think they can go inside with the big people of St. Mary's. I think they're going to shoot over them.
Parks gets assessed with that foul, Joe, and he didn't touch the kid.
No, I'm not so sure about that.
All he did was reach out and
don't officiate his size.
Yeah. He had long arms and got the ball, but gets called with the foul as Ethan Wilson goes coast to coast. No good on the layup. Jack Sisko in transition finds Stager. They only collapsed 3 people on Stager, Joe.
Yeah, just 3.
And all of a sudden
Boom,
they find Stager. Three-point goal is good. That three-pointer brought to you by State Farm agent Laura Yelton, your good neighbor agent. As we talked in pregame, he's got a good inside game, and he is a great perimeter shooter as well. And a great defender.
Oh, absolutely.
Nice job getting it to Davis. Davis to Latrey Williams in transition. No, Joe, that ball didn't get on the floor at all. That's textbook. Yeah, advance, lay it in, 2 points. Celina takes its timeout to talk things over. We'll go ahead and do the same.
For all your insurance needs, see homegrown, hometown agent Laura Yelton and her team, Doug, Susan, and Becky, at 215 East Spring Street in downtown St. Mary's, Ohio. Be a legend. Insure your life. At Schaff Auto Sales, we always have a large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles with prices right to fit all budgets. So before you buy, give us a try. See Aaron High, the car guy.
And we're back here at Murrotech Court, and as I said, the Schaff Auto sales scoreboard, St. Mary's 11, Celina 9. Duncan working against Williams, gets it across half court. St. Mary's still in the man-to-man. Toby being guarded by Stager. Stager backs up a little bit. Nice job, number 5, Jaden Davis, stepping into that passing lane with the ball side hand to deflect it out.
Oh, nice steal.
Steal by Williams behind the back pass to no avail. Picked up by number 25, Quinn Andrew, who's in transition to the right side. Finds Razavir, who's back in after that timeout. And Wilson is directing traffic, number 23, against Williams. Take to the hole by Toby. Gets into the trees, and it's no good. Jack Sisko kicks it over Williams for a three-point goal from the left side, a little short. And Toby's there to round up the rebound. Duncan on the right side, thought about penetrating, but there's Stager. He throws it up over Stager and goes around the world on the rim. No good. Stager with the rebound. Williams throws it out past the outstretched arms of Austin Parks. Another turnover for the Rough Riders.
4 turnovers for the Riders here in the first quarter, and Coach Hagemeyer is not happy about that particular turn of events.
Got to make good off of your possible transition points, and throwing it out does not help.
Connor Alstetler checks in for the Bulldogs.
Duncan against Cisco. Finds Max Toby. He was good from there the last time he shot a three-pointer. We're on the right side now with Jack Duncan. Duncan trying to direct some offense for the Bulldogs. St. Mary's playing a man-to-man, has him extended and denying, doing a nice job denying. Alstetter against Davis. Swing pass over to Max Toby. Up by the volleyball line. St. Mary's doing a nice job pushing him up. Kicks out to Alstetter. Alstetter wants to take it into the hoop, but he walked first, Joe.
4th turnover for Celina. Will give the ball back to St. Mary's. Checking in for the Dogs is Quade Gilmore. He'll replace Quinn Andrew.
Latrey Williams over to Cisco. Cisco thought about pulling the trigger.
He
does pull it, and it's on the back iron. Rebound by Jack Duncan. Feeds into Alstetter. Alstetter back to Toby. Swing over to Razavir to the left side, guarded by Parks. Back to Toby. Sager with a hand in his face, finds Duncan. Duncan guarded by Jack Cisco. Goes inside. Alstetter. Swing pass to Razavir, who is going to fire it up. No good. Toby there with the offensive rebound. Toby dribbles it back out, finds Razavir, swings over to Alstetter. Alstetter to Quade Gilmore. Nice job defensively by the Riders as we're approaching 30 seconds. There's Toby, left side. He likes that left side three-pointer. Down to 25. Razavir finds Toby from the top of the key, fires it for a three-pointer. No good. Nice rebound by Stager. Stager to Williams.
Nice
Williams throws it up for Parks. Parks is good.
Nice assist.
Heads up play by number 4, Latrey Williams. Duncan fires it up from behind the arc. No good. And so at the end of one quarter, on the Schaff Auto Sales scoreboard, St. Mary's 13, Celina 9.
Rider Rooters is proud to be a sponsor for tonight's game on Rider Nation Station. Rider Rooters supports all Memorial High School athletics as the official booster group of Memorial High School. They have been providing financial support to Rough Rider sports for over 40 years. Thanks to the Rough Rider community for all your support.
Do you find yourself faced with injustice or confronted with a legal matter that you need help resolving? If so, call attorney David Walbacher at 216-225-9181. That's attorney David Walbacher for all your legal needs.
All righty, we're back here at Murrow Tech Court. Exciting first quarter of action. St. Mary's 13, Celina 9. Been kind of an inside-outside presence for St. Mary's thus far. Joe, what do the stats say?
Well, for the Riders, they're 3 of 6 from three-point range for 50%, 3 of 4 from two-point range, shooting well from inside the arc at 75%. They've out-rebounded Celina 6-4. Both teams have 4 turnovers. Celina, on the other hand, poorly from three-point range, hitting on just 2 of 7 for 28% and 2 of 5 inside the arc.
That tells us the story of the first quarter. Celina triggers it in. Wilson's going to get jumped by Davis and Williams, but Celina does a nice job. Puts up the left side layup. No good. Nope. Knocked out of bounds by the Bulldogs. St. Mary's will take possession.
St. Mary's applying a little half-court pressure, forcing Celina to pick up the pace just a little bit.
Max Milky on the floor for the first time tonight. There's Davis, heavily guarded by Wilson, who was a little too close.
Yes, he was.
Gets called for the hack. It's going to be Wilson's first foul, team's second. Milky on the left side thought about taking it up, but Toby's hand was a little too close. Swing it all the way around to the right side to Latrey Williams. Nice job by Jack Sisko. Jaden Davis' shot no good. Jack was going to throw the shorter pass to Williams, but the Celina defender stepped in, so he swings to the open man. Now down on the other side, there's Wilson. Wilson guarded by Jaden Davis. Still guarded by Davis. Takes it inside the paint, has to kick it out. Quinn Andrew swings over to number 41, Max Toby. Looks into Razavir. Razavir puts it up, but he traveled. Another turnover for the Celina Bulldogs. Good defensive pressure applied by the Rough Riders.
Rough Riders collapsed on the ball and just caused the Celina player to shuffle his feet. Turnover gives the ball back to St. Mary's. Checking in for the Rough Riders, number 2, Carson Fischbach.
Just saw Carson in the picture, feeding the ball to Jack Sisko. Williams to Sisko. Sisko gets collapsed on, kicks it back to Milky. Very wise decision on Sisko's part. Looks like they're looking to trap that pass. Sisko with the three-point attempt. No! Rebounded by number 45. So it looks like Celina, out of that zone defense that they have, they're going to pass it down the quarter. You're going to get a jump by 2 players starting here in the second quarter of action. Wilson guarded by Fischbach, takes it down to the lane, stepped up for the D is Jack Sisko. Tough shot by number 23, Ethan Wilson. He makes it go down. 13-11 on the Schaff Auto Sales scoreboard. Williams to Milky. Milky guarded by Toby. We've got a foul. Looks like it's going to be against the Bulldogs underneath the basket.
That was going to be called on number 45. That happens to be Josh Razavir, his first, team's third. Austin Parks checks back into the ball game. Jack Sisko will have a seat on the bench.
Jack Duncan checks in for the Bulldogs. Milky to trigger it into the release valve. Fischbach over to Williams. Finds Milky. Milky picks up the dribble, looks for a second into Parks. We really haven't seen that high-low presence here in this second quarter. But Fischbach finds Williams, who finds the front iron off of a three-point attempt, pulled in by the Bulldogs. Wilson guarded by Fischbach, looks inside to Razavir, no, dribbles it, trying to make something happen inside the paint, steps back, throws it into the paw of Austin Parks, who says, I'll take that. Hands off to Max Milky, who's in transition. Again, I think we really need to start looking.
Oh, bad pass.
The entry pass was just a little too low for Parks. Turnover for the Rough Riders. Just about to say we got to get back in that high-low presence as Celina takes a three-point shot. And there is a
over-the-back foul is going to be called on number 23, Ethan Wilson. Keep in mind, Ethan Wilson is the team's leading scorer. He's got 2 points thus far in this ball game, and he's going to go have a seat on the bench. And I think Max Toby checked in.
Milky. There's a little high-low that we're looking for. And he puts it up. It just does not drop. Earlier in the year, he would have kicked that back out, Joe. It's very good to see the freshman say, you know what, I'm 6'8", I'm inside. Absolutely. I'm going to put the ball up. Toby guarded by Steger, 17 feet. Backdoor cut by the Bulldogs. Number 11 tries to go reverse, swatted by Parks. Going to be Celina's ball underneath their own basket. Connor Allstetter takes it in, tries to get a reverse. Parks says, nope. It's going out of bounds.
Tell you what, Austin Parks has 28 blocks on the season, so he's a force inside. That was nothing but air.
Celina had good position on the offensive rebound, but St. Mary's able to control it. Milky with nice penetration, dish out to Fishbach. No good on the three-pointer. Ball's batted around, finally brought in by the Bulldogs.
Ryder's not shy of tossing up the three. They've tossed up 8, connected on just 2, but I don't think they're going to stop shooting.
Toby fires it up, hard iron, rebounded by Milky. I'm guessing that Coach Hagemeyer would really like to see the ball be shot from inside the paint as Williams fires up a 3.
There you go. Nice
there you've got the offensive
Parks.
Rebound. Good presence of mind by 35 Austin Parks. The ball's going up long. He was at the top of the at the free throw line. Comes in hard, uncontested for that offensive putback. Nice job, Austin Parks, as that brings the Schaff Auto Sales scoreboard 15-11. Nice defense by Carson Fishbach, is able to get the turnover. Finds Latrey Williams. Williams firing it up again from the left side.
There you go.
That time he finds nothing but net. And that three-point shot brought to you by Laura Yelton State Farm Agent, your good neighbor agent. That three-pointer brings a timeout for the Celina Bulldogs. We'll take a timeout as well.
For all your insurance needs, see homegrown, hometown agent Laura Yelton and her team, Doug, Susan, and Becky, at 215 East Spring Street in downtown St. Mary's, Ohio. Be a legend. Insure your life. At Schaff Auto Sales, we always have a large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles with prices right to fit all budgets. So before you buy, give us a try. See Aaron High, the car guy.
Back to Murotech Court. Joe Hurlbert alongside Doug Spencer. Rough Riders lead in this contest 18-11. Again, the Rough Riders tossing up threes, and finally Latrey Williams was able to connect on one. But I'll tell you what, they don't. You're right. They don't live and die by the three. But I think Coach Hagemeyer wants them to feed the ball inside more and use their height with Parks and Stager.
Yeah, we'll see if in that timeout that was kind of a MO for the Riders. Let's get back to the high-low. We've got to score inside.
Offensive foul. No, I didn't see that one coming. Foul's going to be on Quinn Andrew. They say he kind of tossed an elbow.
And if they get that high-low presence going and they've got to collapse more, that's going to open up the outside presence as well. But Jaden Davis going to go ahead and fire up a three-pointer, and he does so. Finds nothing but net. Jaden Davis, that three-pointer brought to you by State Farm Agent Laura Yelton, your good neighbor agent. Another turnover. Latrey Williams puts it up and in, steps into that passing lane at half court, finds an easy 2 and transition off of the turnover. Dead ball, almost another turnover. Allstetter swings over to Toby. Toby guarded by Austin Parks. Takes it to the hole, steps up. Jaden Davis kicks out to number 5, who throws up a brick. And Reeves Black shot never hit the rim, and Jaden Davis pulls it in. Davis at the MTO symbol. Back to Williams. Max Milky throws it right into the hands of Jack Duncan. Turnover against the Rough Riders. Bulldogs in transition. A little 15-footer by number 25 goes out. Allstetter picks up the rebound. Kicks it into number 5, Reeves Black. He puts it up, and he's going to be fouled. He's going to go to the charity stripe for 2.
Foul's going to be on Jaden Davis, his first, team's third. You know, one thing that I've noticed about the Rough Riders, Doug, is that they're athletic. They are very athletic. They're quick. They've got basketball sense. They know where to go on the floor. You know, cut people off and they drive the lane. They collapse when need be, and I'll tell you what, they've got a good presence of mind on the court.
And this is a team that's so well-rounded all the way around the court, and that's what you were just alluding to, Joe. They can do just about everything. They can play the inside game. They can play the outside game. They can get to the hoop in transition and in a half-court set. And defensively, they're a very good defensive team, as we've got Austin Parks, who I thought was going to put it down off a nice little distribution bounce pass by Latrey Williams.
Turnover. Give the ball back to the Rough Riders. That's the 9th turnover for Celina.
So pretty quickly, we've got some separation here on the Schaff Auto Sales scoreboard with 1:26 to go, 25-12 in favor of our Rough Riders. And just some heads-up playing and a nice outside-inside game for the Rough Riders. Davis back to Fischbach. Swings over to Latre Williams. There's Ethan Steger. Steger one dribble to Williams on the right side. Back to Steger. He wants to go in. He's fouled. That's
Blocking
a block.
Foul. Foul's going to be called on Quinn Andrew. That's number 2 for him. 5 as a team.
Ethan Steger was definitely going to the hoop. He got that bounce pass back in return. He was going, and he's rewarded with 2 free throws. He dribbles, he dips, he flips.
Nope.
And that ball does not go through the cylinder. This picture of Ethan Steger's concentration. He releases, finds the back iron, rebounded by Allstetter for the Celina Bulldogs. Under a minute to go in the first half of action here at St. Mary's. Allstetter back to Jack Duncan. Duncan, the quarterback for the Bulldogs. Right-handed dribble going against Williams. Finds Wilson. Wilson against Fischbach. Gets inside the paint. Can't find anything underneath, so he kicks out to number 25, Quinn Andrew. No good. Rebound by the Rough Riders. Williams to Davis. Swings over to Fischbach. Bounce pass to Steger. Skips over to Davis. They've got 27 ticks on the clock here. They're going to go for the last second shot. Look to put it up around 7 seconds, get an opportunity for a rebound, unless you've got a nice little inside game going. Parks puts it up, he's fouled, puts it up again. Excuse me, Parks put it up, got his own rebound, puts it up again, and is fouled with 12.3 seconds.
Fouls on Ray Severe, his second. Good job by Austin Parks following his own shot.
Well, I don't know what's going on with the free throws, but we have been hard on the back iron. Parks with 6 points thus far in this game, matched by Steger, and
Milky checks back in for St. Mary's. Parks will get one more.
Leading scorer for the Rough Riders is Latre Williams. He's going to eye it. He flies it.
Nope.
He finds the back iron again.
Man.
10 seconds to go as it's pulled down by Allstetter. Williams picks up Duncan, making it hard for him to get across the half-court line. There's Milky with the jump. 2 seconds, 1 second, and it's put up. And it's not going to go in for the Bulldogs as number 25, Quinn Andrew, puts up a desperation last-second shot. We finished 16 minutes of play here at Murrow Tech Court in St. Mary's. And on our Schaff Auto Sales scoreboard, St. Mary's is leading 25-12. We're going to take a quick timeout to talk to our sponsors, and we'll be right back after this.
Rider Rooter is proud to be a sponsor for tonight's game on Rider Nation Station. Rider Rooter supports all Memorial High School athletics as the official booster group of Memorial High School. They have been providing financial support to Rough Rider sports for over 40 years. Thanks to the Rough Rider community for all your support.
Do you find yourself faced with injustice or confronted with a legal matter that you need help resolving? If so, call attorney David Walbacher at 216-225-9181. That's attorney David Walbacher for all your legal needs.
Back to action here. We've got our 8th grade team that's being recognized in front of the St. Mary's faithful. Good crowd here for the Rough Riders as they have a 25-12 lead. And they just got to witness our 8th graders being recognized by the St. Mary's City School staff. And now we're going to take a look at our girls bowling team. Recognizing the 2019-20 Girls WBL Championship team. And if you look around here at Murrow Tech Court, you're going to notice that they've got some nice hardware. They've got a couple state championships titles, and they're looking to continue on that pace as they just got crowned the WBL champions. and not to be outdone by the boys bowling team. Coach Scott Ross is going to come up here in a little bit. Coach Carl Danmeyer will as well. Good looking shot of our WBL boys champions. They're going to continue on with their postseason play, and it's good that they got recognized in front of a very large crowd for this rivalry game. All righty, Joe. It's all up to you now.
25-12 is our halftime score, and of course, let's take a look at the numbers and see just exactly how the points were acquired in the first half. For the Rough Riders, they tossed up 13 3-point shots in the first half. They were 3 of 6 in the first quarter, 2 of 7 in the second quarter, 5 of 13 in the first half for just 38%. The Riders were 6 of 10 from 2-point range for 60%. For Celina, they were 2 for 7 in the first quarter from 3-point range, 0 for 5 in the second. They were just 2 of 12 for 17% from 3-point range. From 2-point range, the Bulldogs were 3 of 11 in the first half for 27%. The Bulldogs were only able to hit on 3 2-point baskets the entire first half, 2 in the first quarter and 1 in the second quarter. The Rough Riders out-rebounded Celina 12-10. Turnovers, St. Mary's have forced Celina into 9 turnovers, while the Rough Riders have booted the ball away 6 times. From the charity stripe, it was St. Mary's not shooting exceptionally well from the free throw line. They were just 1 of 6 for 17%, and Celina went to the line 3 times, connected on 2. That's good enough for 66%. For St. Mary's, shooting the basketball, individual scoring, Latrey Williams leads all scorers in the first half. He has a couple of threes and a couple of deuces for 10 points. It was Jaden Davis with a 3-pointer for 3. Ethan Stager has 6 points in the first half. All of those came in the first quarter. Austin Parks has 6 points, and those are the individual scoring for St. Mary's. 13 points in the first quarter, 12 points in the second for 25 in the half. For the Celina Senior Bulldogs, Jack Duncan did not get into the scoring column. Ethan Wilson, the team's leading scorer, was held to just 2 points in the second quarter. Quinn Andrew had a 3-pointer early in the ball game for 3 points. Max Stobie also had a early 3-pointer for 3 points. And Josh Racevier has a 2-point shot and a free throw for 3 points. And off the bench, it was Connor Allstatler with a free throw as he went 1 for 2 from the charity stripe for Celina. For Celina, they put up 9 points in the first quarter, just 3 total points in the second half for their 12 points. So for the halftime score, it is your St. Mary's Rough Riders 25 and the Celina Senior Bulldogs 12.
All righty, it's my pleasure to introduce the coaches for those WBL championship teams that were just recognized in front of a very large St. Mary's crowd here at Murrow Tech Court. Coach Scott Ross, Coach Carl Danmeyer. Guys, got to be very exciting to, last year it was back-to-back with the boys and the girls winning state championships, and now you're looking forward to that as you just finished back-to-back boys, girls WBL championships. Tell us a little bit about that.
For the girls, it was 4 weeks in a row. And the boys.
This 3rd year in a row.
Yes, yeah.
And what a great program when, I think your boys bowled on Friday, win the WBL championship, and then the girls, was that Saturday or Monday?
Monday.
On Monday, people got to be a little deflated that St. Mary's has had such success from the remaining WBL teams.
It was. Friday was a big day. We were just trying to get it in because of the weather. The weather was really bad that morning, so we pushed it back probably 2 times and finally got everybody on board and got it done, pushed the girls back till Monday.
And typically they would both bowl on the same day, correct?
Right.
Yeah, which is a lot of fun because all the kids come out and watch each other and root each other on, which we did anyway, just in different days.
Yeah, and the other beauty of this was St. Mary's hosted.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had it at Varsity Lanes.
Right. We get it once every 10 years. They rotate. So this
So-
is our year.
So the beauty of it was we were the host of the WBL tournament, and we get to claim championships for the boys and for the girls. Let's talk about some of the individuals that bowled for the boys since they rolled first. Who were the top performers for St. Mary's?
To be honest, Derek Fisher had the day of the year for the whole team. The first game did not start very well, just kind of the same way the girls started on that Monday. And Derek comes up with a 259, I believe, the first game. He doesn't do that. We're in like 6th or 7th. Instead, we're in maybe 3rd. He was WBL Bowler of the Year, and he shot about 660 that day. It was an excellent day for a tournament.
Excellent. And he was the overall bowler of the tournament.
And WBL Bowler of the Year.
And WBL Bowler of the Year. Congratulations to Mr. Fisher there. And then, Cara, how about the girls when they finally got the bowl on Monday?
Yeah, we had Debbie Fisher was our high bowler for the team for the day, or Debbie Swisher. But we had a couple other girls that bowled really well too, Elena Thornsberry and Jaden Gibson. But yeah, both Elena and Jaden were first team WBL. So.
Well, the boys had 4 kids in the WBL and 1 honorable mention, so most of the entire team was all WBL this year, which was great.
Excellent, excellent. And Rider Nation Station had the opportunity to broadcast a bowling match back in December, and it happened to be against the Wapakoneta Redskins. And if memory serves me correctly, the girls lost to the Redskins, but were able to seek revenge in the WBL and take it to them. And the boys won both times.
Correct, yeah. And that's what makes it fun. When they go to WBL tournament, they're excited to face Wapak again at the girls' match, and I think the fans were excited to see what they would do. And for the girls to win it in front of the home crowd was really exciting.
And when you were out there being recognized, and again, what a great crowd we have here tonight for them to be recognized. I mentioned that, there's a lot of hardware around here indicating the success of the programs. For the girls, how many state championships?
Yeah, we've had 2, one in 2011 and one last year. So we've been to the state tournament, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 times, but we've been down there a few times and finally pulled a whip.
And looking for great things yet this season?
We got a strong team. Hopefully we make it back to Columbus and have a good showing. Our goal every year is to make it to Columbus and then make the cut, which is the top 8. So hopefully anything can happen once you get into Baker play. So.
Absolutely. And then for the boys?
The boys, if you listen to what I tell the boys, there's 1 or 2 days a year I'm happy. And the day that we advance out of districts to state is probably one of the 2 total days of the whole season. It's pretty much business until it's over.
Excellent. And do they have 2 state championships?
The boys do, yeah.
So 2 and
17
2
and 19
for the boys and
yes.
the girls. Excellent. So thank you so much for being here to talk to Rider Nation Station about the success of the 2 programs, winning WBL championships, and best of luck to the coaches and to the girls as they advance in the tournament play.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
All righty. Thanks, guys.
Yep.
Yep.
All righty, we're back here. That just started the 3rd quarter. Jaden Davis takes a deep 3, hits the right side of the iron, pulled in by the Celina Bulldogs. Joe, what a storied program right there for bowling. They win the WBL as they feed it inside to Razavir. Parks guards him, and Razavir is able to put it up and in to bring the score 25-14 on that Schaff Auto Sales scoreboard. They just win WBL, both the boys and the girls do. And like I said, they've got a lot of hardware that's displayed in this gym as Parks puts it up, rolls around the rim, and he's going to shoot 2 from the free throw line. 2 state championships for the boys, 2 state championships for the girls, and they're winning the WBL. Just such an impressive record that they have, and a force to be reckoned with. So it was Rider Nation Station's pleasure to be able to bring to you the coaches talking about their season as Parks misses the front end of the 2-shot foul. And we're looking forward to a lot of success in the post-season play for our Rider Bowlers. Parks with 3 dribbles. He eyes it, he flies it, and can't bring that one in. Free throw's a little bit of a bugaboo for us here tonight, Joe. Little switch of the headsets. See if that works.
That should work.
We got a lot of moving parts going on here, Joe.
Yes, we do.
But that's what we love here at Rider Nation Station, to be able to bring to you Rough Rider athletics and St. Mary's history, and we're going to do all that we can to have the Rough Rider viewership be entertained and educated and enlightened and elevated about this great town that we live in and this great high school. Wilson triggers it in, finds Allstetter. Allstetter's in the corner. Picks up his dribble, guarded by Stager. Looking for a 5 count. It's going to be close. It's going to be a 5 count, Joe.
It is. Another turnover. Good defense there by Ethan Stager. Just stayed right on him and did not allow him to pass the basketball. Tied him up for 5 seconds, and turnover will give the ball back to St. Mary's. We got a timeout on the floor.
Looks like it's going to be a timeout on by the St. Mary's Rough Riders, so we'll take a quick 30-second timeout.
For all your insurance needs, see homegrown, hometown agent Lori Yelton and her team, Doug, Susan, and Becky, at 215 East Spring Street in downtown St. Mary's, Ohio. Be a legend. Insure your life. At Schaff Auto Sales, we always have a large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles with prices right to fit all budgets. So before you buy, give us a try. See Aaron High, the car guy.
We're back here at Murrow Tech Court with the Rough Riders leading 25-14. Coach Hagemeyer didn't like something, wanted to regroup, and we'll see what the Rough Riders have in store coming out of that 30-second timeout. Davis triggers into Cisco to Latrey Williams, and we don't do what Coach Hagemeyer probably had drawn up.
We got
a little bit of an errant pass, and it's a tied-up ball, turnover off of the possession arrow to the Bulldogs. Might get a 5 count here.
And they do.
Coach Emwale on this line of Bulldog sideline in disbelief that the Bulldogs could not get that in off of the Rough Rider turnover. They need to have breaks like they got with the Rough Riders coming into the turnover and capitalizing on those. Parks being a nice passer from the post to Davis, who fires a deep 3, hits the top of the basket, going to go out of bounds. Celina will trigger it in. Yeah, Parks, nice job. Gets that ball, finds Davis, and makes a nice pass to the corner for Davis to fire up that 3-pointer. Allstetter being guarded by Stager. Stager moving his feet. Duncan guarded by Cisco. Fires it over to Andrew. Left-handed dribble to Wilson. Wilson's going to take it to the hoop, and he puts it up off the glass from the right side and in. 25-16 on that Schaff Auto Sales scoreboard. And another turnover for the Bulldogs. Looked like Duncan got a little bit of wrist on Cisco and coughed the ball up. Wilson wants to go back to the hoop. He becomes a passer out of it. 41 puts it up.
It's good.
And
foul's going to be on Parks, I believe.
Max Tobey muscles that ball up as he's getting fouled and presents an old-fashioned 3-point play opportunity for the 6', 3" senior, Max Tobey.
Max Milkey checks in for the Rough Riders, and Austin Parks will go have a seat.
Tobey makes good on that old-fashioned 3-point play. All of a sudden, Celina's crawling back into this game. St. Mary's only up by 6. really need to look at all options inside. Steger was open, went up top of the key. Swing over to Milky. Milky fires up a deep three, hits the iron, no good. Steger with a valiant effort to pull that ball down, but Wilson gets it. He wants to go to the hoop. That's an offensive charge. Nice job by number 23, Max Milky. He knew that Wilson, his MO was to get to the hoop. Max steps in, takes the charge, and it's going to be a foul. The third foul, Joe, assessed against Wilson.
Absolutely so. I'm sure.
He takes a seat.
Sure, absolutely. Jay Wimwall, he's going to put him on the bench, and we'll see how long he sits there.
At the 5:15 mark in the third quarter, Wilson has to take a seat. There's Davis into Steger, back to Davis. Now that's textbook basketball right there. That's that outside in. Ooh. Get the collapse on Steger because you have to. Then you kick it back out to Davis, who's going to kill you with the three. But there's Toby firing up a three. Nothing but net as well. Still 6-point differential with 4:35 to go in this third quarter of action. Celina still in the zone. Skip pass to Milky, who swings over to Williams, fires up the three-pointer in the corner. Short iron. Allstetter picks up the rebound. Cisco against Duncan as Duncan's trying to get across half court. He does by making a bounce pass to Allstetter. Man-to-man defense for the Rough Riders.
Trey Williams had a couple of three-pointers early in the ball game. Well, I can't say early. It was in one in the first quarter and one in the second quarter. Boy, he just cannot find the bottom of the net from beyond the arc. He's struggling right now.
Substitution for the Rough Riders.
Carson Fischbach will check in, and Jack Cisco will go to the bench.
Quade Gilmore triggers it in to Toby. Standing on the O of MTO right in front of Coach J.M. Wally for the Bulldogs. Mike came awfully close to getting a 5 count just standing there. The referee was counting. Duncan being closely guarded by Williams. Williams had just picked up a foul, his first. There he steps into the passing lane. And Joe, right there, my high school coach is on the other end doing the broadcast for WCSM, and he'd probably pointing out right now, if you go with the ball side hand, you're going to tip that down the court, and you're going to get transition points out of it. He went with the weak side hand, knocked it out of bounds. Little nuances of the game of basketball.
Absolutely.
Gilmore picks up his dribble. Toby's got the hot hand. Finds Duncan, who shoots it from the right side. He puts it up and in. I'll tell you what, Joe, these
Celina's creeping back into this one. It's 28-25.
2-17 Bulldogs know that it's rivalry week, and they do not want to go down to the Rough Riders. And they've crawled in within 3-point differential with 3:05 to go, and there's going to be a turnover against the Rough Riders.
Boy,
that was a very heads-up play by Carson Fischbach. At first, I wasn't certain what he was doing and why he wasn't going to pick that ball up. What an extremely intelligent play. He waited for the Bulldog player to pick it up and just swatted it, hit it off his leg, and it went out.
Yep.
So that unfortunate turnover by the Rough Riders by a heads-up play by Fischbach results in a turnover against the Bulldogs. See if the Rough Riders can get their offense going. Oh, had an opportunity to lob it in to Steger. Skip pass from left side to right side to Milky, back to the left side to Davis. Davis wants to take it to the hole. It's a block.
Boy,
Andrew quite upset, but
yeah,
that was a block, Joe.
Yep, it was.
The Celina fans don't agree with it, and our Rough Rider student section letting Andrew know that it was a block. Triggered into Williams on the right side with a floater from 15. Yeah. Hits the iron twice, rebounded by the Bulldogs. 28-25 on that Schaff Auto Sales scoreboard as Andrew fires up a three and hits it, Joe. I'll tell you what, Coach Hagemeyer took that 30-second timeout, and
we're tied up.
All of a sudden, we've got a tied-up game. Forces inside, triple team. That is a definite triple team as Andrew is going to get hit with another foul. He's in disbelief. When they feed it into Steger, 3 defenders collapse on him.
Yep. This is a 15-3 run that Celina's done on St. Mary's. They tied this ball game up at 28-28. Keep in mind at halftime the Rough Riders were up by 13.
Yikes. Time to get that offense going. Milky gets the inbound pass inside to Stager. There's the triple team. Back to Milky. Milky thinks about it, penetrates, loses it. Turnover on the Rough Riders. 2:10 to go. It's tied 28-28. The Rough Rider faithful a little surprised as to what's going on in this third quarter. Duncan directing traffic. Kicks it to Allstetter. Man-to-man defense by the Rough Riders. Swings over to Toby. Toby's been instrumental in hitting some threes for the Bulldogs to get them from that major deficit that Joe just talked about. Reeves Black steps back, wanted to shoot it, didn't get it in. Nice defensive steal by Jaden Davis. Coach Hagemeyer wants a timeout. And with that timeout, Gavin Reinecke's going to check in, and we're going to go ahead and do a few commercials.
Rider Rooter is proud to be a sponsor for tonight's game on Rider Nation Station. Rider Rooter supports all Memorial High School athletics as the official booster group of Memorial High School. They have been providing financial support to Rough Rider sports for over 40 years. Thanks to the Rough Rider community for all your support.
Do you find yourself faced with injustice or confronted with a legal matter that you need help resolving? If so, call attorney David Walbacher at 216-225-9181. That's attorney David Walbacher for all your legal needs.
Support. All righty, 28-28 on the Schaff Auto Sales scoreboard. Who would have thunk it? I didn't see it coming, but it is rivalry week, and Joe, you just kind of throw everything out the window when it comes to wins and losses prior to this, and all of a sudden we've got a 28-28 score.
Well, give a lot of credit to Celina. They have forced St. Mary's out of their game. And now all of a sudden St. Mary's is trying to pick their game back up, and they're struggling. They're turning the ball over. They're missing shots. They're not hitting threes, and they're just struggling right now. And give a lot of credit to Celina for making this run.
With that timeout, number 20, Gavin Reinecke steps in. Gavin's a 6'1" sophomore, and he's got a nice outside shot, so seeing if he can spark the Rough Riders. Davis fires up a three. He hits that three-pointer. That three-pointer brought to you by State Farm agent Laura Yelton, good neighbor agent. That's a great inside out. Parks with the assist to Jaden Davis for that three-point shot to extend the lead to 3. Just about 1 minute to go in this third quarter of action. Allstetter finds number 13, who becomes a passer underneath. Quade Gilmore, nice bounce pass into Reeves Black. Reeves puts up the shot, gets fouled from behind.
Foul's going to be called on Jaden Davis.
Reeves Black's going to shoot 2 free throws. We're just under 1 minute to play in this third quarter. Black makes good on the first free throw attempt. It's back iron on the second. There's Stager for the rebound. You know, you look at her points, only 31 points for the Rough Riders, and Stager and Parks, who we thought would have a field day tonight, are both sitting with 6 points thus far in this contest. Reinecke thought about firing it up. Skip pass over to Davis. Back to Williams. There's Reinecke to fire it up, and he rims in and out, but there's Parks.
Got it!
With the offensive rebound, the left-hander off the glass, and he's harmed. He's going to go to the free throw line for that old-fashioned three-point play.
Good
what
job.
A great offensive rebound by number 35, Austin Parks.
Good hands. Kind of reached back to get the rebound, then was able to gain control of the basketball and goes right back up with it. And I'll tell you, and I know what you're going to say, he didn't bring it down.
He did not commit that cardinal sin, Joe.
He kept it up. Yep, he's a big man. Keep it above your shoulders. Don't bring it down to where the little guys can get it.
Hey, you and I are a good team. And we still have
nice
the
job,
offensive free throw bugaboo, but we got the offensive rebound. Stager gets collapsed on by only 3 people, and Allstetter's going to be tagged with that foul. St. Mary's crew is very happy about it, and a lot of boos below us by the Bulldogs. St. Mary's trying to extend this lead. They're up 4 with 22 seconds to go. Stager to Cisco. Cisco fires up the three-pointer, and he drills that three-pointer, which is brought to you by State Farm agent Laura Yelton, your good neighbor agent. 36-29 on the Schaff Auto Sales scoreboard. 9 seconds to go. That ball might, it was off Davis's right shoe. 5.7 seconds for the Bulldogs to try to close this 7-point gap.
Oh, and just like that, the Riders back up by 7.
Wilson, the trigger man, finds Duncan. Squeeze that right there. Oh, my goodness.
Uh-oh, nice pass.
Unbelievable. Duncan to Toby right before the buzzer for 2 points. 36-31 on that Schaff Auto Sales scoreboard. We're going to talk to a few sponsors, and we'll be right back.
For all your insurance needs, see homegrown, hometown agent Laura Yelton and her team, Doug, Susan, and Becky, at 215 East Spring Street in downtown St. Mary's, Ohio. Be a legend. Insure your life. At Schaff Auto Sales, we always have a large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles with prices right to fit all budgets. So before you buy, give us a try. See Aaron High, the car guy.
It's time to crown the Sweethearts Queen. And I think they just announced that senior Carly Kaywood has won. Lots of activities going on tonight, Joe, and I know that they have a Sweethearts 70s themed dance after tonight's ball game. Hopefully it will be celebrating a Rough Rider victory to extend St. Mary's' record to 17-3. But we've got 8 minutes of action left, and we could see a lot in that last 8 minutes.
Oh, here's a turning point of the ball game. Celina's perfect from the floor. 3 for 3 from 3 and 4 for 4 from 2. So they were actually 10 for 10 in the third quarter. Riders 3 for 8 from 3 and 1 for 3 from 2. So they were 4 of 11 in the third quarter.
And Joe, I think an interesting story as this game unravels here is St. Mary's free throw shooting percentage.
Not very good at all. They're 1 for 9 in the ball game.
Yeah, I'm no mathematician, but that's not good. Back to action, Duncan against Cisco. Duncan with a bounce pass to Wilson, who likes to get to the hoop.
Oh, nice
He
pass.
gets to the hoop, fires it over to Toby, struggles with it, finds Duncan. Duncan shoots up the three-pointer from the top of the key. Davis with the rebound and gets mugged by number 41, Max Toby. That's going to put St. Mary's in the bonus from here on out. See if that was a wise decision to foul him and with the shooting that we've done from the free throw line, or an unwise decision.
Well, I don't know. 1 for 9 for the Riders as a team in this ball game.
Davis shooting the front end. He spins in his hands, dribbles it, eyes it, flies it. Nothing but net. That a boy, Jaden. 37-31. Receives the bounce pass from the referee. He spins it, dribbles it, eyes it, flies it, and hits the second free throw, 38-31. Free throws are going to be huge as the last 7.5 minutes wind down here at Murrow Tech Court. Man-to-man defense for the Rough Rider. Wilson picks up his dribble. He's in trouble. Finds relief with Razorvier. Parks does a nice job hedging. Releases back to pick up Razorvier. Wilson finds Toby. Toby's got the hot hand. In and out, but there's Razorvier with the offensive rebound. Puts it up, no good. Offensive rebound by Wilson. He wisely dribbles it out as Parks was there to swat anything that came inside. Got an illegal screen called against number 45, Josh Razorvier. Coach J.M. Wally is not happy. Wilson had just made a move into the paint, but the whistle was blown as there was an illegal screen set by number 45, Josh Razorvier, and he takes a seat as he now has 4 fouls.
Connor Allstetler checks in for Celina.
Cisco starting the offense. Swings over to Stager. Stager hands off to Jack Cisco. Back to Williams, top of the key. Parks setting some screens, creating some confusion for the Bulldogs. Jaden Davis squeezes the ball inside to Stager, who gets triple teamed. So therefore you kick it out to Davis. Davis finds a three-pointer, and it's good. And that three-pointer brought to you by State Farm agent Laura Yelton, your good neighbor agent.
That's his fourth three-pointer of the ball game.
Thank goodness he's heated up, and there's a
there we
steal
go.
by Williams. Williams is going to go to the hoop behind the back. His second behind the back pass and transition has resulted in the second turnover.
It's a good thought, but I don't think Stager was looking for it.
And good thing back to Jaden Davis that he has heated up, because he has provided the spark that the Rough Riders needed, as they have now taken it from a tie ball game to a 10-point lead with 6:05 to go. Wilson fires up a deep three, finds nothing but nothing, and there's Stager.
That leaves nothing.
We are mathematicians. Davis with the hoop, with the pass inside. Stager's going to get called for going over the back. Davis penetrated inside, kind of lost it, but there was in trail on the transition. Stager, who picked it up, puts up the shot. No good, went after the offensive rebound, and he kind of climbed up over the top of the back.
Yeah, we got a timeout on the floor. But Doug, let's keep it here real quick.
Certainly.
You know, when you take a look at the Western Buckeye League, this is the final weekend of the regular season as far as the Western Buckeye League is concerned. Of course, the Shawnee Indians are the #1 team in the Western Buckeye League, and if things go according to Hoyle, they take on the Elida Bulldogs tonight, and Elida comes in with a record of 6-13 overall, 2-5. So it looks like Shawnee should win the Western Buckeye League outright. And keep in mind, the state rankings come out in Division II. The Shawnee Indians are tied as the #1 team in the state of Ohio. So good job by former MHS alum Mark Triplett, excuse me, who is the head coach of the Shawnee Indians. In other Western Buckeye League games tonight, Defiance is at Walpock, Van Wert's at Bath, and Kenton is at OG.
All righty, and we just saw the student section getting into this game with, I'm not real certain what you call that, but they were having a lot of fun, and that's what this is all about, as St. Mary's has extended their lead 41-31 with 5:50 to go in this contest. Again, we want to thank our sponsors, Laura Yelton State Farm, attorney David Walbacher, the Ryder Rooters, and Schaff Auto Sales, who is our scoreboard sponsor. And that scoreboard reads 41-31 St. Mary's. Celina, after the timeout, triggers the ball in, and Wilson's getting it across half court, being guarded man-to-man defense by number 5, Jaden Davis, who's had a hot hand and helped spark the Rough Riders here in the fourth quarter. Inside to Toby. Toby's got nowhere to go. Hands off to Wilson, who gets to the hoop. And he's good. It's no mystery what's going to happen when the ball gets into Wilson's hands. He's getting to the hoop.
Absolutely.
41-33 on the Schaff Auto Sales scoreboard. St. Mary's, Jack Cisco directing traffic, gets it to Williams, finds Davis. Davis back to Williams. Celina has stayed in this zone defense the entire time, as Jack Cisco with a nice distribution to Williams, who puts it up, no good.
Nice job,
but
nice
there
follow-up.
to pick up the garbage was Austin Parks, puts it up off the glass. He now breaks into double digits with 10 points. All scorers being led by number 5, Jaden Davis, as Wilson put up a three-pointer. Big rebound by Austin Parks. Cisco quick in transition. Left side trying to find some separation for Stager. Nice pass inside to Parks, who tries to put it up, but he didn't have an arm to put that ball up with.
Exactly. He was hacked in the act. And I'll tell you what, I think he was a little bit surprised that the pass was going to come to him. He was double teamed, but nonetheless, good job by Williams to get the ball to him.
There's a nice free throw by the big man. Substitution for the Bulldogs. Time for Razorveer, who has 4 fouls to get back into this game, Coach M. Wally says, and that's at the 4:31 mark.
Coach Hagemeyer told me prior to the game that Austin has been working on his free throws throughout the year and has vastly improved.
And he makes good on the second one, 46-33. Davis, he's been in the passing lanes tonight, and he just knocked that one out, making it difficult for the Bulldogs to get the entry pass in. Excuse me, it's 45-33, not 46-33. 12-point lead for the Rough Riders. Reservoir becomes the point guard for a moment, and he is guarded heavily by Parks at the volleyball line. Rough Riders have extended pressure up. Andrew looks back door, finds Toby on the right wing who fires up. That's going to be short. There's Reservoir with the save, but finds Jack Sisko. Sisko quick in transition, stops, has nowhere to go. He's triple teamed now, somehow finds the ball. The number 4, Williams, with the ball. Kind of got fortunate that wasn't
Absolutely.
a Rough Rider turnover right there.
Looks like the Riders are going to spread the floor a bit, run some clock. They're up by 12, 3:34 remaining.
I think Coach Emwally's going to join in the defense.
Yes.
He's directing his guys. Sisko does a nice job going inside. Back to Davis, who launches about a 23-footer and hits it. Jaden Davis for 3, and that three-pointer brought to you by State Farm agent Laura Yelton, your good neighbor agent. Duncan fires a quick 3, no good, and Williams, he's going to get to the hole against Toby. Nice spin move.
It'll
up
count.
with the left hand off the glass and in. All I got to say with that is da-da-dun, da-da-dun. Beautiful, beautiful move, Latrey Williams. You know, Coach Emwally and the Celina players just have to be thinking, wait a minute, this game was just tied.
No, exactly. And I'll
now,
tell you what, this is all due in part to the three-point shooting of Jaden Davis. He's hit he's hit 4 three-pointers here in the second half, 5 for the ball game. He's got 17 points on the night.
And he's done a nice job defensively getting in the passing lanes as Toby fires up a 3, rims in and out, no good. So, nice hustle by Andrew as he goes into the wall, saves it for the Bulldogs. And then he tries to throw up a three-pointer, but then there's Davis, who we were just talking about on the offensive side and how he's getting in the passing lanes. He swats that 3-point shot almost into my brother, who's videotaping.
What's he doing down there?
He's videotaping, Joe.
Last I looked, Logan was down there. Turnover
Because Parks gets a hand on that entry pass. Steger picks it up, hands it to Jack Sisko. Coach Hagemeyer wants things to slow down a little bit. Playing above the volleyball line, and Celina's allowing us to do it. He calls for one, which is, hey, let's get to man-to-man because we can't afford for them to chew up time. Davis, left hand, little pass to Sisko. Sisko takes it to the top key, brings it back to the volleyball line. We're under 2 minutes of play in this rivalry game. St. Mary's, Ethan Steger puts it up, and then he's going to get called for a travel. He did. He shuffled his feet before he shot that ball.
Good call.
Proper call. 50-33 on the Schaff Auto Sales scoreboard. As we mentioned in pregame, this has been rivalry week. The Wrestlers started off with a victory against the Bulldogs. The Lady Riders had a nice victory at Celina, and the Rough Riders look like they're going to be able to do the same, as I'm not certain what Wilson was trying to do in that instant.
I can't figure that out.
He took it in the lane, looked like he was going to pass, looked like he was going to shoot, and it just somehow stayed Celina ball.
You know what impresses me with Latrey Williams' defense? He does not put a hand on the player. He is right with him step for step and never puts a hand on him.
Yep.
Man, and he's quick.
Very, very, very quick, extremely athletic. And St. Mary's has a 17-point lead. They're trying to protect with 1:20. They're going to go inside to Steger. Steger kicks it back to Williams. Williams bounce pass to the opposite corner. Nice pass from Jack Sisko to Austin Parks, who puts it up off the glass for 2. All of a sudden, Austin Parks is getting in the scoring column with 14. Jaden Davis leading all scorers with 17. Latrey Williams at 12 points. Under a minute to go. Toby shoots 14-footer. He's good on that. 13th point for the senior Max Toby. Davis going to fire another 23-footer. That's way hard. But there's Stager for the offensive rebound. Back to Jaden Davis. Coach Hagemeyer barking out instructions. Davis thought about pulling the trigger again. We're at 25 seconds. There's a little high-low action inside to Stager. Stager turns, shoots, and gets the ball to drop. That hung up there for a while.
Well, I think you can put the dogs in the truck. The hunt's over.
Yep. Inside to Razavir for 2 points. We're at 5. Cisco's just going to dribble this out. St. Mary's is going to pull off the trifecta for rivalry week as the St. Mary's Memorial Rough Riders boys basketball team wins 54-37 here at Murrow Tech Court to extend their season record to 17-3. We're going to take a break, let Joe get the statistics taken care of, and we'll come back and talk about this game once we come back.
Rider Rooters is proud to be a sponsor for tonight's game on Rider Nation Station. Rider Rooters supports all Memorial High School athletics as the official booster group of Memorial High School. They have been providing financial support to Rough Rider sports for over 40 years. Thanks to the Rough Rider community for all your support.
Do you find yourself faced with injustice or confronted with a legal matter that you need help resolving? If so, call attorney David Walbacher at 216-225-9181. That's attorney David Walbacher for all your legal needs.
We're back here at MTO Court, St. Mary's Memorial High School, as the large Rough Rider crowd is starting to head for home. I'd like to thank all of our sponsors and like to thank Schaff Auto Sales for being the scoreboard sponsor, where it reads St. Mary's 54, Celina 37. Interesting game here tonight. Thought that St. Mary's wouldn't have much of a problem, but as we alluded to early, when you have rivalry week, it's Celina St. Mary's. You throw all records out the door and anything can happen. And we thought that possibly was going to be the case as it got tied up 28-28. And then all of a sudden a nice spark for the Rough Riders by number 5, Jaden Davis, on both sides of the court. Allows for that lead to be extended and to have the relatively easily win by the time that 32 minutes of action had come to a conclusion. St. Mary's will come back tomorrow night for those that are listening to our live audio broadcast and play the against Toledo Scott. Toledo Scott's going to make the long trip down here to St. Mary's, and the Rough Riders will face Toledo Scott and see if they can build upon this 17-3 record that they have just created by beating the Celina Bulldogs. Are you ready?
I do. I have it.
Excellent.
All righty, let's take a look at the statistics in the ball game. First of all, from three-point range, the St. Mary's Rough Riders tossed up 16 three-pointers, and they hit on 10 of those for 62%, while Celina was 5 of 21 for 23%. From two-point range, St. Mary's was 11 of 18 for 61%, Celina 10 of 20 for 50%. The Riders held the edge in the rebound department. They pulled down 21 caroms, while the Celina Bulldogs pulled down 16 turnovers. St. Mary's forced Celina into 17 turnovers, while St. Mary's turned the basketball over 11 times. For Celina, they went to the free throw line 6 times, was able to connect on 3 for 50%. For the Riders, not a particularly good night at the charity stripe, as they were 5 of 13 for just 38%. Individual scoring, first of all, let's take a look at Celina. Jack Duncan had a 3-point goal for 3 points. Ethan Wilson, the team's leading scorer, had 6 points. Quinn Andrew had 6. Max Toby led Celina in scoring with 12. And Josh Racever had 7. And Reeves Black off the bench had a free throw for 1. And Connor Allstetler had a free throw for 1. For the Rough Riders, they got all their scoring from their 5 starters. Jack Cisco had a 3-pointer in the third quarter for 3 points. Latrey Williams had 12. Jaden Davis was on fire from beyond the arc as he hit on 5 3-pointers and 2 free throws for 17 points. He is the game's high scorer. It was Ethan Steger with 8 points, and Austin Parks came alive. Didn't shoot extremely well from the free throw line. Hit a couple of free throws in the fourth quarter, but finished the ball game with 14 points. And of course, at 6'8", his presence in the paint causes a lot of problems for the opponent, and it was evident tonight as Celina just couldn't get it inside the paint. Most of their shots came from beyond the arc.
And give credit to Coach J.M. Lawley and the Bulldogs. They came out with an excellent game plan, got the Rough Riders out of their game plan, and they got so close, and the Rough Riders, showing the maturity of their team, didn't panic, and they were able to get back into a little bit of their groove with the sharp shooting skills of Jaden Davis and extend that lead and maintain it. So what a great game here at Murrow Tech Court for all fans to watch.
Well, of course, you got to give a lot of credit for Celina, and because they put the pressure on St. Mary's at one point in time. So, St. Mary's went to the locker room with a 13-point lead. Next thing you know, you look up and it's tied. And Celina just dominated the third quarter. But here again, the Rough Riders did not get rattled. They came out in the fourth quarter. They played their game, and I think Jaden Davis said, look, here's the deal. I'm hot. Give me the basketball. I'm going to shoot some threes. We're going to have a little bit of fun. And then from that point on, they extended their lead and was able to go away with a 54-37 win here at Murrow Tech Court.
Well, Joe, it's been a pleasure doing the games with you. We did the Bath St. Mary's game, and we are getting the motion that cut it off. So
we'll do that.
For Joe Hurlbert, I'm Doug Spencer, and thank you for listening and watching to Rider Nation Station.
For all your insurance needs, see homegrown, hometown agent Lori Yelton and her team, Doug, Susan, and Becky, at 215 East Spring Street in downtown St. Mary's, Ohio. Be a legend. Insure your life. At Schaff Auto Sales, we always have a large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles with prices right to fit all budgets. So before you buy, give us a try. See Aaron High, the car guy. Rider Rooter is proud to be a sponsor for tonight's game on Rider Nation Station. Rider Rooter supports all Memorial High School athletics as the official booster group of Memorial High School. They have been providing financial support to Rough Rider sports for over 40 years. Thanks to the Rough Rider community for all your support.
Do you find yourself faced with injustice or confronted with a legal matter that you need help resolving? If so, call attorney David Walbacher at 216-225-9181. That's attorney David Walbacher for all your legal needs.
Thanks for watching another episode of Rider Nation Station. Help us help you by subscribing on YouTube or following us on Facebook.